Hello everybody and welcome back to the coverage for the WCQ 2018 in Berlin. I am back with Dom Galizia.
Hello again.
And we have another round for you for our Duel Links exhibition matches. This time we're going to be seeing Lorenzo facing off against Tom. Tom Viergutz. Is that
yes,
am I saying that
correct.
correctly? And Dom, tell us a bit about the match.
Yeah, Lorenzo is playing Arcana's skill, and it's Show of Nightmares
and Spellbooks.
And Tom is playing for hires, and he's playing Kaiba with Beatdown. So
that's really interesting. We saw in one of our other Duel Links feature matches that the Spellbook deck was incredibly strong, resolving Spellbook of Fate multiple times.
So good.
Being able to clear out
the Amazonas.
This Amazonas deck.
Yeah, he just took away those monsters.
So how does that factor in against the for hire deck? Surely the Spellbook of Fate is even harsher against that deck than it even is the Amazonas.
It can be. I think the biggest thing with the for hire deck is the resource management. If they can get beat to the field, activate its effect, and go and get more for hire monsters from the deck, it can be a really hard deck to wear away. And then it just really depends on what they both draw. So I think the guys are loading their decks and game, and we can move over and see how they.
Yeah, we can go check that out. I actually think.
If you had a choice.
I think first turn takes quite a big precedence in this match, because if you do start with Wits having the negation, that seems pretty strong against Spellbooks.
It can be really good. I mean, for example, if you take away the Spellbook of Secrets and they don't have the Magician of Prophecy, you've taken away their turn one.
And then you send in your minions for hire.
And they really do come down quickly. You can easily get more than 4,000 attack in one turn.
All right, so
here we go.
Let's check this out.
And that's looking really good for Tom and the for hire deck. Lorenzo goes first. He's got Magician, Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. He goes and gets a Library of the Crescent.
Spellbook Library of the Crescent is a card that you can only play if your graveyard has no cards in it. Then you reveal 3 Spellbooks from your deck. Your opponent randomly chooses one, and you add it to your hand. Very popular in the TCG. The reverse of that one, the Spellbook of Solero, I don't know if it's in Duel Links.
No, I don't think
if you've got 5 or more Spellbooks in the graveyard, you flip over the top 2 cards of your deck. If they're Spellbooks, you put them into your hand. But of course, the problem is, because you searched so many stuff out of the deck, that card was just never as popular as Crescent. Crescent was something you did on turn 1, and it gave you a different name Spellbook, and it gave you a bunch of cool stuff.
Well, here comes the Secrets. And I think they've both got really strong hands, so the only problem for Lorenzo with the Spellbooks is that he doesn't have the Silent Magician in hand, which is you can bank on him playing that build. So
that's what he's played before.
Exactly. So the for hire deck might just take this away. It depends on if the Spellbook of Fate comes into play at the correct point.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see how it goes.
So there's going to be a real skill check with the Spellbook of Fate.
Indeed. So he sets 2 to the back row. And that's a really good draw as well, because it gives him some protection. He's going to try and go off. Here comes the beat. He's going to activate the effect.
Bladesman for hire.
Yes. And I'm expecting... Yep. He has to take that away.
Yeah, taking away your opponent's normal summon in for hire seems incredibly strong when their entire turn depends on them resolving at least a normal summon.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And so I think more importantly here, what he's done is he's just set him back 1 turn. So if he gets to go into the Silent Magician on his next turn, I think Lorenzo could run away with this.
Yeah, Silent Magician, very good against Treacherous Trap Hole, because it just replaces itself with something that can almost one-shot you in this game.
Yes, it's such a good card, Silent Magician. So he's looking for it now. And he's got the organization to try and manipulate what he's drawing. And
Spellbook of Organization
allows you to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and organize them. Here we go.
And it's the Silent Magician you were talking about. Yep. Oh, it's almost like you have the Millennium Necklace on there, just seeing the future.
Well, you know...
there's only like 12 cards in the deck, so it's like 25% chance that you just draw the card.
That was such a good draw. He needed that, and all the pressure is on Tom now. Like, Lorenzo is just going to play spellbook after spellbook, try and keep that Magician on the field as long as possible. Yeah. If it gets dealt with, it doesn't matter. He'll bring a big guy to the field, and he's really going to deal the damage.
Plus, he's going to be setting up another Spellbook of Fate, so he's going to have a Spell Negation, Spellbook of Fate, and he's going to be threatening the Silent Magician level 8.
Indeed. So this is a really strong position now from Lorenzo. And with that Fate, next turn, he's just going to take away that monster again. So it doesn't... I don't think there's a way back for Tom here.
It feels very Arcana-like, just to kind of like, just doing these things to torture your opponent, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like there's a way back for Tom here, if I'm being honest. It looks like Lorenzo is just going to seal this one out. He'll have too many resources that...
Yeah, his next normal summon is getting taken away from him, and because this card's not going to the graveyard, you can't use Mayhem for hire.
Exactly.
So... It's pretty much on Lorenzo to mess this one up. Is Tom Viergutz's win condition?
You never know. You never know in Yu-Gi-Oh.
We've seen it.
We've seen the heart of the cards come through.
We've seen people make big mistakes when they had games locked up before. They've incorrectly attacked and lost an OTK they should have had.
He draws. And it's Wiz, but I think it's too late.
Yeah, if that normal summon gets fated, that's just... Who needs fate when you can just make your own by making your opponent miserable?
Yeah, I mean, he needs to fate here. I mean, obviously there are additional cards set. He might have been considering not to, but he needs to fate and banish that face-up monster.
Yeah, if you were able to get in with the 2000 attack on your Silent Magician without your opponent making any response, I guess you can generally consider your opponent's normal summon the priority. Like, would you take 2000 attack just for free in the first round? Well, I guess he can bottomless trap hole, destroy his own monster, destroy his Silent Magician. Then he has the 3300 attack monster to deal with.
It's just about resource.
Oh, actually, that's super interesting because if he does that. He then gets to use, because his monster's in the graveyard, he can use Mayhem for hire to bring back his monster, and then he can summon the Wiz from his hand.
Yes.
It doesn't answer the Silent Magician level 8, but he won't lose to Spellbook of Fate. No, but you'll lose one of your Mayhems because Spellbook of Fate doesn't target because who wrote that card?
Yes.
Oh, it does everything.
It's so
like,
versatile.
Oh, yeah, your opponent even tries to outplay it, and then you just get to take away something else. Go, oh, actually, I'll take that one.
That's the thing with it. It's the 3 effects. It's so versatile. It's unbelievable.
Back in the time where this deck was really big was during the Mermail format where there was some fringe agents being played by a few players, and there was a Spellbook deck that was viable for that tournament because Spellbook of Fate was just perfect at everything. It just cleared away like Archlord Christias, it cleared away a whole bunch of stuff. You play Spellbook Towers, not Towers, sorry, Star Library. Every time you play Spellbook, gain a counter to gain 100 attack. All your guys just end up on like 2900 attack.
Huge attack.
And then you're Spellbook of Fating away all your opponent's stuff. Going with the beatdown.
Yep, he's putting the pressure on here. So
this is quite the turnaround.
Yeah,
I mean, we almost thought
it was the treacherous, and the additional copy of Mayhem for hire, which has allowed him to bring back the Domper and summon the Wiz, which has kept him in the game. But we know he had the treacherous and the Spellbook Master. So it still looks like it's Lorenzo's game, to be honest with you. It looks like he can just take away the resources, you know. So
yeah, I mean,
and we know he's going to have that additional copy of Silent Magician in the deck. So
yeah, he's got Spellbook of Power as well.
Yeah, so he's going to draw. He's going to control the opponent's monster and field monsters count with treacherous. He's just in such a strong position. And there is no negation because Wiz doesn't have, you can't discard any for hires from hand, so...
He spent all of his money hiring those for monsters.
He did.
That was wrong. Ah, I ruined the pun. Damn it. He spent all his money, so now he can't afford any monsters for hire.
And it's that Spellbook of Fate as well. So good.
Yeah, and then he's going to be able to use this Spellbook of Power to attack
over the Domper.
Over the Domper, yeah.
Draw a card at the end. He's going to set both of those cards. He's definitely still in prime position.
Yeah, this way he's got two ways of removing the Wiz, so even if the negation is drawn, you can just use your other option to clear it. But there's only 5 cards left in Lorenzo's deck. We know one of them's going to be another Spellbook Magician, and we know 2 of them are going to be Silent Magicians. So the last 2 cards, we don't actually have the deck list in front of us, so the last 2 cards are Spellbook of Secrets. And
he's definitely got Silent Magicians in there, I think. So
yeah, he's got 2, so he's got 50% chance drawing it.
That's not helpful.
That's
because, well, he's going to attack. Oh, he's going to try and lengthen the game.
Yeah, Spellbook of Fate could be used, but then Wiz will be forced to negate. So, yeah, we're going to see Lorenzo saying, okay, well...
But the Treacherous as well, don't forget.
Yeah, so, yeah, he could use... He could activate the Treacherous, force the Wiz to use its negation, then just go ahead and take it out with Spellbook of Fate.
And he's played the Secrets. He doesn't have many cards in his deck.
He needs a Spellbook Magician, so that if Treacherous is the way that he gets a Wiz off the table, he can still tribute it for the Silent Magician.
Yeah.
So he's looking for both scenarios how to deploy his threat. There you go. Yeah, he's going to start Treacherous, force the negation, and then just use Spellbook of Fate.
He might not.
Yeah, you could choose not to because you know your opponent has Silent Magician.
And if he draws next turn and he doesn't, you know, he could be thinking, if he draws a good monster next turn, he can summon that Diner and push, but he opts for it. So he's going to walk into that.
He could get there with Mayhem. He's got one more copy of that in his deck. That would get back.
Yeah, but I mean, he's in such a strong position now, Lorenzo, so he is going to take away that wall, if you like. Because that 2,800 is an absolute wall.
It's more of a sandcastle. It's just getting kicked over. And then again, I make fun of sandcastles, and we saw in the Yu-Gi-Oh movie, a sandcastle beating up a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yep. Has he used the skill already as well?
Arcanus? No, we've not. I don't believe we've seen
So he
Arcanus
can add... So here comes the Silent Magician, and if he hasn't, he can just add back that Spellbook of Power if it's still in the graveyard to gain the additional attack and push for game here.
Yeah, so that would actually almost be perfect Exacxes, right? Because he's got... Oh, he doesn't. He's maybe already used the skill.
Maybe he has.
Because he's going to have no cards in deck. It's going to be like one of those dual puzzles winning this turn. 500 life points remaining.
It's really interesting.
How is Tom going to get out of this one? I hate to say it, harder the cards draw, he just does a tap.
He's just going to set it. He's just going to set that and hope.
No, out of spite, I would normal summon it and run it straight to the Spellbook Magician. Be like, yeah, you know, I'm taking you with me.
He can't do anything else.
Yeah, because that's another Silent Magician.
Yep.
I think this card is so strong. Like, if there were other really good Spellcaster decks in the format for the regular TCG, I could see Spellbook Magician. Not Spellbook Magician, sorry. Silent Magician actually being played.
It's such a good card. It's the attack gain, it's the destruction. If it's destroyed by a card effect or battle, it just goes and gets a big guy to come.
I really like Silent Swordsman because that one's extremely strong as well when you just have the ability to... it just keeps gaining strength, and then you can use the quick play, which just like massively pumps it. And then you've got like, oh yeah, it makes my guy immune.
And, you know, the... correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the level 7. The level 7
yeah,
is
it's just like a spell canceller.
It's so good.
Which is, yeah,
so good.
Very strong.
I mean, the level 5's good, but the level 7 is something else.
It'd be nice to see it in Gyoki, but the problem is it's like if you're playing Gyoki, there's so many other combos you can do. It's like hey, this is good tech, but I'm doing something better. Why would I waste my time with it?
With those Sky Strikers seeing a lot of play.
Yes. Yeah, you see, that's where the logic kind of lines up, right? That you could use Silent Magician in your Gyoki deck to sort of like start taking away, not Silent Magician, sorry, Silent Swordsman. No, Silent Swordsman, he has a negation. I'm trying to remember what he does now.
Silent Swordsman, level 7, can negate spell cards.
He negates all spell cards if you get to the 7. But that is a fantasy format that we're not going to be seeing. We hope you guys enjoyed the Duel Links.
And as we saw,
exhibition.
The spell books came home. They just managed to work those resources enough, and Lorenzo took the win.
Yeah, congratulations to him. And guys, stay tuned for more coverage for the WCQ 2018 here in Berlin. We'll see you soon.
We hope you enjoy it.